So you would never call me a fat to my face, right?
Well, why would I just randomly call you a fat?
He'll always be a faggot. Boy, this is gonna be hot. I got your back, sis. I got your back, little sis. Good evening, everybody. Welcome to my channel, Modern Renaissance Man. I am Ty Smith, Modern Renaissance Man. No, I don't like to throw little jokes in here, kind of throw y'all off. Y'all do me a favor, make sure that you follow me on all platforms you see listed above and below. I really do appreciate you taking time out of your day to view my content. If you do enjoy the content that I put out, hitting this right here would allow YouTube to push my content to you, the viewing audience, all right? And also, last but not least, double check and make sure that you still are subscribed to my channel, because some people have been unsubscribed mysteriously. YouTube's like, it's not our fault, blah, 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 blah. Yeah. Got to talk about this, ladies and gentlemen. Don Lemon is still trying to make himself relevant, and I'm quite surprised, sis. When I say sis, I'm talking about, you know, the one that they said is my sister, Candace Owens. Yeah, y'all do know that there was a time where they claimed that Candace Owens was my sister because I went viral and blah, 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 blah. And all of a sudden it went from that to me being a Republican plant from Montana, a paid actor, and turned out to be Candace Owens' brother. Yeah, that's what they said. Anyway, she and Don Lemon had a conversation, and it got really interesting, especially when he's trying to get her and trying to ask her, would she ever call him the F word? And it gets a little crazier too when she got into the conversation about Christians. And we're going to get into that. So let's get ready to pull this up right here and get into it, okay? I already gave you guys a little bit of a setup, right? Don Lemon and her talking. He's going to talk about the F word. I'm going to talk about it too. Then they're going to go on the Christianity part of it. And this is where it's going to get a little bit juicy. Some of y'all may be comfortable with this. Some of you may not. But I'm telling you right now, I'm going to not hold back, especially when it comes to our belief, my belief in Christianity, what this Bible says, all right? Let's go. Let's go.
That is what it meant when I was reading Virginia Woolf. And then suddenly a button got pressed and they said, no, now people are using it to talk about homosexuals and you can no longer say that. And I said that we should not do that. We should not allow perverts dictate language. And then bizarrely, Don Lemon then tried to ask me if I wanted to call him the F word. Take a listen.
Anyone with $10,000 or more.
Well, we wanted to take a listen.
Or in credit card debt or
a little
personal
bit,
loans
guys.
may qualify for help from National Debt Relief.
So the word you said was fat, right?
Yeah.
Is that exactly the word? So what did you mean by that? You think it's okay to say the word, to call people a fat to their face?
No, actually, I said words have meaning. And so when you start allowing the perverts to dictate speech, then words just have to go away. And as I said in that clip, when I was growing up and I was reading English novels, when people say you're walking through the woods to get a faggot, it meant a bundle of sticks.
She just explained it, right?
And then they said you can no longer say this word that has a real meaning, right? A bundle of sticks, because some pervert took that and threw it as an epithet towards gay people. I think that's actually, that's a wrong way of thinking, because then what you're doing is you're allowing perverts to dictate society.
No, she said a pervert used that word to say that to homosexuals. A pervert. A pervert. A pervert. Yeah. But see, nobody had no problem calling the pervert a pervert. Y'all not following me? What if we got to a point to where if somebody is like a predator, huh? And they don't want you calling them that anymore. They want us to call them minor attracted persons.
So I don't like the death of the English language because people are getting offended. So that's like, I could pick any word. I could say, you know, plant. And from now on, every time I see a gay guy, I'm going to be like, he's a total plant. And then eventually they say you can't say plant anymore. It's like, no. Yep. This is a real word that has meaning. Attack the person who's perverting the word, but you don't suddenly disappear a word and you say you can no longer say it, or you can no longer read these Virginia Woolf novels because the word has been perverted. I think that's a backwards way of thinking.
You can read Virginia Woolf novels, and the only people I know who...
She didn't say you can't. She didn't say you can't read those novels. She said nobody should be able to tell you, oh, because it has a word bug in it, that you can't say it. You know what? Maybe I'm gonna start using some inserts in here every time I want to say the F word. I have my guy Jean-Claude Van Damme say it in place of me because I love the way he say it.
He'll always be a faggot.
Who are trying to ban books, Virginia Woolf, and other books that even say the N-word. I mean, it's conservatives. That's who's trying to do it. I don't think that you should be banning books. But I do know, Candace, that language evolves over time. And when people say that word to me, they're not calling me a cigarette. They're not calling
obviously,
me
that's the point. It has a context. So if you want to punish that person because they're saying that offensively, that, if you feel that this person, but it's not fair to then say to everybody else who's not using that word that this word has now been banned. I just think that's ridiculous.
Yeah.
That's my point.
Yeah.
I don't think you can suddenly say go backwards and delete words that had real meaning because someone has perverted it, because then it never stops. It just becomes constantly having to update the language for people's feelings. I don't think that we should be doing that.
So you would never call me a to my face, right?
I would. It all depends on the context. For example, Don Lemon, when you and Cuomo had y'all little show and all that stuff going, when you were calling people who didn't want to get the Fauci, ouchie, hokey pokey clot shot, when you were calling us names, I'd have called you that all day long to your face. See, because the thing is, it's all about intentions. If your intention was to call me stupid or an idiot or anything like that because I didn't want to get the Fauci, ouchie, hokey pokey clot shot, then I'll call you a faggot all day long. I'll call you that. I will call you a faggot all day long. Yes, all day long.
Well, why would I just randomly call you a fat?
I'm just meaning,
have you ever seen the Louis C.K. skit on? Have you ever seen the Louis C.K. skit on fat?
No, I like Louis C.K., but I don't think I've ever seen.
You should watch it.
Yeah. No, but you would never call like a gay person that to their face.
That seems like an absurd, like, what? No, of course, I'm not just going around. I'm a 35-year-old mother. I don't go around being like, hey, you're a That's just like, I'm not 18 years old. Like, I'm not going around calling people names, period. I wouldn't go up to a fat person and call them names. I wouldn't call it just like it's
they're going to get her now. She said a fat person. See what I'm saying? We're no longer able to say fat.
Absurd thing to be going around pointing and calling people names because I don't like them. No. So the answer is no, I would not.
Do you use the N-word?
No, I don't. Still not.
What was that? We do. I do. When I'm talking, like when I'm rapping the songs, I do. So do you white people. If you are white and you got all these records of black folks that are rappers and stuff, dropping the N-bomb, when you in there singing them songs and you in your car, you're saying it. Okay. Let me stop because I'm making some of y'all feel uncomfortable. I can feel it through the screen. Now, I'm going to move on to this next portion. And I think this might have to be dealing with Christianity here.
That long, the only time you would lock down files like that regarding a sitting president being shot, and then we pretend So, of course, because he was running through, like I said, this very about how strange it is that we remark on how deranged the scientists, and we're so hurt by to laugh when someone tells you about Christian persecution on the mass
most persecuted.
Here we go.
Cost, okay? At the concept of Christian persecution. I lost my cool. Take a listen.
Yep. So what she's going to say, if I didn't give y'all no context, she's talking about an instance where she's going to point out that Christianity can be completely prosecuted. Christianity can be made fun of, made a mockery of, and nothing is being done about it. And I'm going to add some more to this when it comes to the Fauci, ouchie, hokey pokey clot shot.
It's not about the Holocaust, okay? Christians suffered too. In fact, we are the most persecuted religion in the world. And I am so sick of it. I am so sick of there can only be one victim narrative.
Candace,
and if you start talking about
a Christian, and we are not the most persecuted in the world.
That is a fact.
Yes, they are. Yes, they are. And that's what I want to say.
What are you saying? We're not the most persecuted religion in the world. Do you know what's happening in Armenia? Do you know what's happening in Nigeria? Do you know what just happened in Canada? The fake story that was propagated by all of the mainstream networks about the nuns, and they found the mass burial, which allowed 85 Catholic churches to be burned to the ground in the last 3 years in Canada. We are still being persecuted right now. So I take great offense to you coming in here about the sensitivities of the people that are working on your show when I'm sitting here telling you that I'm a Christian and I'm offended by what you're saying, and you laugh. You mock Christian persecution.
Get 'em, girl.
Do you think it's acceptable to laugh when someone tells you about Christian persecution? Because let me tell you something. If I had done that, if I had laughed about the Holocaust, I would be chased out of polite society. Then don't laugh. Don't laugh at Christian persecution. Don't do it.
Laughable that the name is in the term. It's
do
laughable.
not laugh. You literally just laughed when I talked about Christian persecution. Don't do that ever again. Not in my presence.
He ain't trying to hear it. Let me know. Yeah, see, that's what I'm saying. It's a joke. And you gonna sit there and say, Don Lemon, you're not a Christian. You're not a Christian. Look, y'all might get offended at this. but it's Bible. Don't get mad at the messenger. Okay? It's Bible. Literally, some people, they got so mad at the messenger, they killed him. His name was Jesus. He was a messenger. Anyway, don't get mad at the messenger. It's Bible. You are not going to sit up here. Look, again, this is no offense because I got cousins, I got family and all of them that are about that life, homosexuality. You are not going to say that you are a gay Christian. That doesn't even make sense. That doesn't, you're not. Not according to this Bible. You're not. Moving on.
And that is exactly how I felt. And I just wanted people to hear that because I am so sick of this. I am so sick of people mocking Christians. They're just so comfortable doing it. He literally laughed when I started talking about Christian persecution.
Let me tell y'all something that's really sad here. I don't know if because my girl gets a lot of, airtime, clout, bigger audience, maybe. But I'm so sick of us not even standing up for our women like this. It should be us, men. According to that Bible, it's supposed to be us. She shouldn't even have to be up here doing that. Although she is, it should be us doing that. Straight up laying it out to him. For example, as well, it shouldn't be, man, when I see Christians out there doing their thing, even if they're in front of their church and people come by and spitting, y'all quit letting them do that. Y'all better act, boy, did y'all not, some of y'all Christians, did y'all even read the Bible? Do you not know what David, oh my God, if Zack Snyder, if you wasn't so Hollywood demonic, all crazy, you can make a killing with David. I ain't talking about Samson, y'all. I'm talking about David, lion, bear, Goliath's whole family. So y'all think that the story about David and Goliath. No, David annihilated their whole family. An epic movie that would be. My point is saying that men who were of God were not no punk 65 baby. Oh, we're just gonna. Even Jesus, y'all make Jesus seem like he was such a little tender. Every picture that's not Jesus anyway. Every picture, Jesus just so soft and tender. He knocking at the door like this. He just, I knock at the door. Jesus was a man. I don't know where y'all world y'all living in, but when I read that Bible, I don't see this soft. Jesus was a man. Like y'all, the way y'all paint, the way they got Jesus painted, even the way they got him on the cross, looking just so, he was a man. When I seen Jesus, when I picture Jesus knocking over tables and whipping people out, I don't see no, stop, get out, y'all get out. Y'all turn my father out to dinner thieves. Well, Ty, why would you act it out that way? Because that's the way y'all paint him and portray him. Like he's just this soft, feminine, jellyback, weak man, and he wasn't. Point in saying all that is Christians should not be in no state where they are weak. We just gonna sit back and just wait on the Lord to smite thy enemy. You better learn how to smite back. I'm not that Christian. Well, the Bible says turn the other cheek if somebody's smacking. Read the whole thing and as to why they're smacking it. Because it did not say that if somebody is actually just trying to harm you, and then y'all turn around and say, obey the laws of the land. Well, the law said I can defend myself. I don't know if y'all read the Bible either. Peter tried to go for a soldier's head and got his ear. Let me get on. Let me continue on because this is going to get really good, folks. Christians are not prosecuted, but yet y'all let strip clubs and all that stuff stay open, but y'all wouldn't let churches stay open, even though our church defied all that and we stayed open anyway.
You think about same-sex marriage?
It's a sin.
You think it's a sin?
Christians suffered too. In fact,
I do not.
You think about same-sex marriage?
It's a sin.
You think it's a sin? So you think I'm sinful?
What's that?
You think I'm sinful because I'm married to a man?
Yeah.
Yes.
You do?
Yes, you're sinning. You are in a sinful relationship. I actually don't believe marriage can be between two men. So I don't.
You think about same-sex marriage?
Where's that part at, Candace? I want to see some more of that. And she is absolutely right. According to our belief in the Bible. If you say to me right now, Ty, I don't believe in the Bible, so that's not right. I get it. I'm with you. But to us who are Christian, it goes based off of what this Bible says. The Bible clearly has it in here that a darn third grader can understand that same-sex relationship when it comes to sexual activity or anything like that, marriage, it is a sin. You're not going to be able to tell me it's not in the Bible because it is. There's things right here in the Bible. So I'm at Leviticus 20 and 10. Leviticus 20 and 10 right here says, And the man that committeth adultery with another man's wife, even he that committed adultery with his neighbor's wife, the adulterer and the adulteress shall surely be put to death. And the man, so when he say lie, what do y'all, when I just read it, what do you think it means when it says lieth? What do you think it means? It ain't talking about, if they're just in the bed and laid down and took a nap. No, you know what lieth mean. And man that lieth with his father's wife hath uncovered his father's nakedness. Both of them shall surely be put to death. Their blood shall be upon them. And if a man lie with his daughter-in-law, both of them shall surely be put to death. They have wrought confusion. Their blood shall be upon them. So we all kind of got an idea with this man lying with the woman, man lying with the wife, a man lying with his daughter-in-law. We all get that, right? We all understand what lieth mean. And this says in verse 13, if a man also lie with mankind, as he would lie with a woman, both of them have committed an abomination. They shall surely be put to death, their blood shall be upon them. And if a man take a wife and her mother, it is wickedness. They shall be burnt with fire, both he and they, that there be no wickedness among you. And if a man lie with a beast, he shall surely be put to death, and he shall slay the beast. And if a woman approach it unto a beast and lie down thereunto, thou shalt kill the woman and the beast. They shall surely be put to death. Blood shall be upon them. We got to really sit here and act like we don't know what that means. We're going to really sit here and act like, well, God, when Jesus died, stop it, stop it, stop it. Just because we have westernized and legalized some sins does not mean that all of a sudden that's different to God. Stealing is still something God frowns upon. Murdering, killing is something God still frowns upon. Adultery is still something God frowns upon. Committing false witness against your neighbor is something God still frowns upon. Girls who cried that the man did something to them and the man didn't, they got let out of jail, those women should be punished or serve the term that they end up having those men possibly having to serve. Yes. So a man lying down with his mother-in-law, still the same in God's eye. A man lying down with his daughter-in-law, still the same in God's eye. Y'all will sit there and go crazy over anybody that does some sexual activity to animals because that's animals. I can't believe they're doing that. Why do y'all feel that way? What if it was legalized? Would y'all still look at it the same? Huh? Would you still look at it the same? Well, that's what happened. No, I don't hate anybody. I'm making a disclaimer, plain and simple. But the fact that we have accepted it and we pretty much legalized gay marriages and all that, it makes you think that it's okay in God's eye. It's still not. It's clear right there, plain and simple. Anyway, shout out to my sister, Candace Owens, for putting the message out there, not being afraid to speak and stand up for our Christianity. And anybody out there that might have a problem doing that, the Bible clearly says that if you are ashamed of him, he's going to be ashamed of you to his Father. I'm not ashamed. I'll speak up all day long according to my belief in this Bible right here, plain and simple. And again, if you don't believe in the Bible, I'm not talking to you. If you're not a Christian, I'm not talking to you. If you're atheist, I'm not talking to you. If you are a Hindi or any of those things or any of religion, whatever y'all believe in, I'm not talking to you. I'm talking to the ones who claim to be of the faith when it comes to Christianity and think that it's okay to be that way. Plain and simple. I'll be more than willing to actually have a personal discussion with anybody on there that might have any type of questions on this. I won't blurt you out. I'm talking about where I can give you a link and it would just be you and I having a personal Zoom meeting over what this Bible says when it comes to things like homosexuality, certain sins, et cetera, et cetera. Plain and simple. To show you proof that he frowns on it like he still does. Not saying that it's worthy of death, but Christ do have a forgiveness because he don't want you to do it no more. In this Bible, I just showed you guys how and this is Old Testament, what would happen should they do those things. If you committed adultery, they were worthy of death, right? Now, fast forward to when Jesus came along. When he came along to give grace, right? When he came along to give the message of grace. It used to be a time where according to that belief, you about to be killed over that. And we know in today's world, you don't get killed over adultery no more, right? You don't get killed over homosexuality for doing that. But back in those days, it did. When Jesus came along, things switched. Again, they were worthy of death for adultery. In the Bible, there was a woman that was caught in adultery. They pulled her out, got ready to stone her, put her before Jesus. Guess what Jesus said? He said, you that don't have any sin, cast the first stone. Adultery. She was caught in adultery. It was considered sin. Adultery, and according to what I just read to you guys, a man with his another man's wife, a father-in-law with his daughter-in-law, a mother-in-law with her son-in-law, a woman with the animal, a man with the animal, a man with the man, a woman with the woman. Sin. And that's why Jesus, when he said to her, he said to the crowd, you that is without sin, cast the first stone. Nobody threw a stone at her because they all had sin. But what's important is what he did afterwards. He said, where are your accusers? She said, I don't know. They're not here. There are none. He said, well, I don't accuse you either. But he did tell her, go and sin no more. So if Don Lemon was to actually have a real so-called relationship or so-called Christianity, and he wanted to know the truth of it, the truth would tell him what you're currently doing, like Candace said, is sin. But if you don't want to do that no more, that's what Jesus said. Go and don't do it again. Boom. The simplicity of God. But no, y'all think there has to be like a 15-step program of he got to go through fast and pray and be dunked in the water 16 times. But the point of it, and the reality is, Don Lemon is not a real Christian. He's not trying to live a life of a Christian. If any of you to try to say, you don't know because no. The Bible clearly says you are drawn. He says you are tempted. The Bible says you are tempted when you are drawn away by your own lust. Having those things want to sleep around with other people, whether it's men with men and women women with beasts with men, and whatever it may be, orgies, swingers, all of that. You are not going to tell me that you are a Christian and you are purposefully and willfully doing those things. Absolutely not. Anyway, let me know what y'all think of this. Shout out to Candace for this being bold and stand up and being courageous. Make sure y'all do what y'all see happening there with all that animation and stuff. Subscribe to the channel if you're new to it. And if you are not new to it, double check to make sure that you still are subscribed. Hit the thumbs up button. Let me know what y'all think in the comment section. I am Ty Smith, Modern Renaissance Man, hoping and praying that every last one of you have food, shelter, and clothing. And most of all, I pray every last one of you guys are in great health, mentally, physically, emotionally, spiritually. God bless you all through Jesus.